Tonight, 10 more Democratic candidates will debate in Detroit. 10 others took the stage last night. Centrist candidates argued that proposals from left-wing Democrats go too far and play into Republicans' hands. Healthcare was a major focus and a point in contention. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, the most liberal candidates, came under attack for more than their moderate colleagues, but they were ready to fight.
I think Democrats win when we run on real solutions, not impossible promises. When we run on things that are workable, not fairy tale economics.
This is an example of wish list economics.
You can't just spring a plan on the world and expect it to succeed.
You know, I don't understand why anybody goes to all the trouble of running for president of the United States just to talk about what we really can't do and shouldn't fight for.
Medicare for All is comprehensive. It covers all health care needs for senior citizens. It will finally include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
But you don't know
Second of all,
you don't know that,
second
Bernie.
of all,
We'll come to you in a second,
I do know,
Congressman.
and I wrote the damn bill.
Why do we got to be the party of taking something away from people?
No one is the party.
Hold on
That's
one
what
second,
they're
Senator.
running on. They're
No.
running on telling half the country that your health insurance is illegal. It says it right in the bill.
Let's be clear about this. We are the Democrats. We are not about trying to take away health care from anyone. That's what the Republicans are trying to do.
Well, for more, we have Kathleen Gray. She's a political reporter for the Detroit Free Press. Thank you for joining us. And as we saw, healthcare was a major issue last night. How important is the issue to voters in Michigan?
It's incredibly important. You've got unionized auto workers, a lot of them here in Michigan, who have bargained for significant health care benefits that they're afraid of losing if Medicare for All program gets on. So it's certainly a significant issue here in Michigan, not only for auto workers, but for people who have employer-provided insurance.
The debate site in Detroit, as you know, is about an hour away from Flint. And last night, several candidates weighed in on the Flint water crisis. Let's first take a listen to that.
And I was just in Flint, and they are still drinking bottled water in that town, and that is outrageous. I think what we need to do is not have a president that's promised he was going to do that on election night, if anyone remembers, and then he hasn't followed through. He has done nothing. He blew up a meeting at the White House. I would put $1 trillion into this.
We have an administration that has gutted the Clean Water Act. We have communities, particularly communities of color and disadvantaged communities all over this country, who are suffering from environmental injustice. I assure you, I lived in Grosse Pointe. What happened in Flint would not have happened in Grosse Pointe. This is part of the dark underbelly of American society. The racism, the bigotry, and the entire conversation that we're having here tonight, if you think any of this wonkiness is going to deal with this dark psychic force of the collectivized hatred that this president is bringing up in this country, then I'm afraid that the Democrats are going to see some very dark days.
So, Kathleen, I'm interested to hear what you have been hearing from voters. Do they feel Democrats are giving this issue enough attention?
You know, I think that they have. There's certainly a lot of people who are coming to Flint, are coming to talk about water issues in Michigan. And Marianne Williamson made a very interesting point about how this happened in Flint, but it would never happen in a Grosse Pointe, a very Republican suburb of Detroit. And she's right, it wouldn't have. But Flint is a very poor community. They're close to replacing all the lead lines in the city, but residents are still afraid of the water. Residents are still afraid of the government because it was a government-caused problem, and they're still drinking bottled water. So it's an issue that people, especially in Flint, want to hear about. But there are other cities in Michigan that are also contaminated with PFAS, a fire retardant, in their water. So it's an issue that resonates with many communities in the state.
Well, of course, you may remember Democrats were criticized for not paying enough attention to Michigan in 2016. We're hearing you report that at least 17 Democrats have now visited the state this election cycle. How important is Michigan in 2020, and are Democrats doing enough this time around?
It's incredibly important. Donald Trump won by 10,704 votes in Michigan. And so there's not a whole lot of wiggle room in the state. The Democrats in 2018 really put a push out there, really worked hard, and they ended up turning a lot of seats from red to blue. So hopefully for the Democrats, they're going to adopt the model that the state Democratic Party did in putting people in the neighborhoods, putting people in the cities, and making sure there's a lot of voter contact. And After tonight, I'm not sure how much we'll see the Democrats until the presidential primary in March, but I expect many of them will be coming back to Michigan time and again.
As we look ahead to round 2 this evening, what else do Michigan voters want to hear?
Tonight from the debate,
what kind of topics
they certainly want. Well, health care is a big topic that they still want to hear about. Climate change is a topic they still want to hear about. Student debt is certainly an issue that they want to hear about. And I'm sure that those subjects will be brought up along with many of the others that were brought up last night. Gun control, although we haven't had any serious mass shootings in Michigan like there have been around the state, that's an issue that resonates with the voters as well.
Sure. A lot around the country this year as far as mass shootings are concerned. Kathleen Gray, thank you so much for joining us and for your time.
Sure.